Navigating school attendance rules can feel, well, a little complicated. So, if you're a parent in South Dakota, this explainer is for you. We're going to break down exactly what you need to know so you can feel totally confident about your child's attendance.
So, why are we even talking about this right now? Well, because the numbers are pretty eye-opening. Chronic absenteeism in South Dakota has nearly doubled since the 2018-2019 school year. That's a massive jump, and it's exactly why this has become such a huge focus for schools all over the state.
And let's be crystal clear, this isn't just about following rules or checking a box. Their research couldn't be stronger on this. Showing up to school consistently is one of the best predictors of your child's grades, their chances of graduating, and really their success long after they've left the classroom.
So that brings us to the million-dollar question for every family in the state. What does the law actually require, and what's changed lately?
All right, let's dive in and start with the foundation, the actual state law that lays out the core rules for every single school. The key thing you'll want to know is Chapter 1327. This is the official rulebook, the place where the state spells out the legal responsibility that parents have to make sure their kids are in school or getting some kind of approved alternative education.
And this is where things just got interesting. A recent update, which kicks in for 2025, tweaked the compulsory age. So now it runs from age 5 all the way to 18. But there's a new twist. They've added an option for 17-year-olds to withdraw, but only if they have written consent from a parent.
Okay, but what about kindergarten? The law is super specific here. It's not treated like some optional, nice-to-have first step. Nope, it's a required part of the whole framework for kids before they turn 7. So for almost every family, kindergarten is the mandatory starting line.
But of course, life happens, right? Sickness, family emergencies, you name it. The law isn't totally black and white. It absolutely makes room for valid reasons a child might have to miss school.
And this is a really critical distinction for parents to get. An excused absence for a good reason is a completely different ballgame from truancy. The law also gets that learning doesn't only happen in a school building, so it provides legal pathways for other kinds of education.
So, what are those other paths? Well, you've got alternative instruction, which is basically the state's term for homeschooling, and it has its own set of rules you need to follow. There are also really specific exemptions, like one for religious reasons after 8th grade. But here's the golden rule for any of these. You have to document everything. I mean, everything. So what happens when those unexcused absences start to stack up? That's when the state's safety net and all its intervention procedures start to kick in.
When things get serious, the state uses a very specific term, chronic absenteeism. And here's the part of the definition that catches a lot of parents by surprise. It means missing 10% or more of the school year for any reason. That includes excused absences.
Right, that 10%, that's the magic number. It might not sound like a lot, but let's put it in perspective. That's about 18 days in a school year, which breaks down to just 2 days a month. As soon as your child hits that mark, it automatically puts them on the school's radar.
And let's be perfectly clear, this is not optional for schools. It's not just some local policy they can decide to follow or not. It is a state-mandated legal requirement. They have to keep perfect records, and they have to report students with attendance issues to truancy officers.
Okay, so that's enough about the rules. Let's get to the most important part, the playbook. What can you, as a parent, do to stay ahead of this and keep your child on the right track?
Think of this as your 4-step action plan. Step 1, get your school's attendance policy in writing. No surprises that way. 2, document every single excused absence right away, exactly how they want you to. 3, if something is making it hard to get to school, health, transport, anything, tell the school early. And finally, number 4, if you're thinking about a big change, make sure you know the withdrawal rules first.
If there is one thing to take away from all of this, it's this. Early and open communication is your superpower. Seriously. Reaching out to a teacher or a counselor before a tiny problem turns into a big one is always the right call, and it can solve most issues before they ever get serious.
And that really leaves us with this final thought, which just hits the nail on the head. If you wait for a formal truancy notice, you're already on the defensive. Taking timely action beforehand, that's how you stay on offense and really set your child up for success.